Hi, I'm Jessie Powers, Managing Educator for Makeup Forever. Today I'm going to teach you a look with a little bit of 1920s inspiration. We're really going to focus on the eyes, the eyebrows, and especially faux lash choice and application. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how to incorporate some sort of modern elements into it so it really works with your style and you don't really feel like you're wearing a costume. The first thing I'd like to do is use a powder blush and just apply right underneath the apple of the cheek, and then I use a little bit of a figure 8 motion just to work the blush up over the cheekbone. Next, I'm going to put some highlighter on. I start by placing a little bit of a loose shimmer powder just on the high point of the cheekbone, and I'll use the same motion that I did before, which is that soft figure 8 motion, just to work the product on top and blend it into the blush. The next step I want to do is apply an eye primer. I think the best tool that you can use is just the pressure of your fingertip. I'll get a thin layer, start in the center of the lid, and then blend to spread the product evenly across the entire surface of my eye. I like to do eyebrows first, because it really helps kind of create the frame or establish the edges of where your eyeshadow should go to. I'm going to use a liquid brow product called Aqua Brow. I do like to work with 2 brushes. This one's for precision, and this one's more for the background. The first thing I do is comb up, then I'll use my fine point brush to create the tail of the brow first. Once I've got the tail drawn on, I'll start to strengthen the center of the brow and then the beginning of the brow. We're going to do a quick little groom. Brush the brow hair up, and then we're going to start with more of our detail brush. Place it right on the arch, and then you're just going to draw through the tail. And once you have the tail of the brow the way that you like it, you can just continue to bring the product through the center of the brow and into that inner corner of the brow. So one of the things that I want to do to bring in a little bit of that 1920s period feel is to create a brow that's actually quite a bit longer than my natural brow shape. I'm bringing the brow out and really elongating it onto my temple, and I'm also allowing it to be a little bit more rounded than my natural brow shape. Now it's time to move on to eyeshadow. What I always want to keep in mind when I'm doing any eye is working from light to dark. What I'm using is a light bone color. I'll use my general flat shadow brush and start patting and packing that shadow on across the entire lid. Our next step in our smoky eye is to lay down our medium color. One of the colors that I've picked is sort of a pretty warm coppery brown. I like to use sort of a doe foot angle brush. Where I want to start to place my medium shadow is right on top of that bone and slightly above it. The next part of our smoky eye is to bring our medium color underneath our lower lash line. So with your smudge brush, start right in the center, and then I gently rock my smudge brush right underneath my eyeball until it reaches the outer corner and the inner corner. This is usually a part where you might feel like you're starting to make yourself look like a little tired, but you'll get through it. The one mistake I think people do make though is they don't go low enough, and then when you start to lay in your darker colors, you end up losing your medium color. When you have your medium shadow all the way done, it should really almost wrap all the way around the eye, sort of with a strong C on the inner corner and the outer corner of the eye. Now it's time for us to move on to our deep shadow. I've chosen a really deep purple with a little bit of shimmer. Again, I want that smoky look, but I also want to bring in a little bit of a modern sensibility with the texture. We're starting again on the corners, and we're working just inside where our medium color is. You should still see a little bit of your medium just sort of peeking out of the top. We're going to continue with our deep color underneath the lash line as well. So we'll take our smudge brush, start right in the middle of the eye, and then you'll just rock, making sure that you're always focusing the intensity of your shadow just in this little outer corner pocket, and then also in the inner corner pocket. Now it's time to start using our deepest color, which is black. I'm using my smallest brush. We'll start by placing our brush in the outer corner and then gently moving it in a circular motion towards the center of the crease. I'll redip my brush in a little black, and then I'll place right in the outer corner where I started, and I'll pull in towards my lash line. And then we'll repeat on the inner corner of the eye, placing it above where our tear duct would be, and pulling up and towards the center of the eye, and then pulling in towards the lash line. Now it's time to detail right underneath the lower lash line. And to do this, I'll switch back to my angle brush. Carve out that outer corner with black, and then I'll flip my brush around, so I flip it from long point out to long point in, pressing right underneath the lash line. The final step in our smoky eye is to darken the waterline. My favorite product to do this is kohl pencil. I like to just take my pencil and rock it gently on the inner rim of the eye, almost on top of where your eyelashes naturally grow. So now it's time to add a little bit more of that modern sensibility into the smoky eye. I'm using star powder, and it's got a great purple iridescence. It's just gonna pop the center of the lid forward and give it even more contrast with the black that's around. Next, it's time to curl your lashes. I love to use just a standard eyelash curler. To finish the smoky eye, I need a really beautiful rich lash. I've taken my smoky lash mascara. I'll really just anchor the brush right at the root and give it a little wiggle and a little press up. So when it comes to choosing a faux lash for your eyeshadow, the one thing you want to keep in mind is, do you want your lash to be the focus or do you want your eyeshadow to be the focus? What I need to choose is a lash that will enhance my look but not block out what I've done. I'm going to pick something that's a little bit more sparse and a little bit shorter so that it just accentuates the lash without blocking any of the shadow. And I want to make sure that I size my lash before I apply any glue. So in order to size your lash, what I do is I just go ahead and I hold it up. I try to press it right into the center of my lash line, and then I take a look at whether or not it's going to extend beyond the inner or outer corner. Next step is to make sure that your lashes are nice and limber. You can actually wrap your lash around the handle of your brush, and this will help make it just a little bit more naturally shaped to your eye. So when it comes to applying faux lashes, there's always a couple tools I have on hand. One is my trusty pair of tweezers, and then the other one is just the end of a brush, and this is great for helping to stick the lash down. I like to apply my glue just to the lash band. You want to place your lash so that the center makes contact first, and then you can use your tweezers or you can use your fingertips to press down the outer corner and the inner corner of the lash. Because I want my lashes to actually lay a little bit flatter and more straight, I'll use the side of my brush just to press the lash down. It's time to use a little bit more mascara just to shape the lashes and also blend your natural lash in with the faux lash. I'm just going to angle up and pull from underneath where my natural lash is through the center of the faux lash. To complete this look, it's time to apply a lip. Instead of doing something that would be more classic 1920s, like a bee-stung lip and like a berry stain, what I want to do is use a lip gloss that's a little bit more of a natural or a nude lip color. The gloss that I'm choosing is called Lab Shine. And the color that I'm going to use is just a really pretty sheer pearly pink. Now your 1920s inspired look is complete. You just want to remember this look is really all about the eyes and the brows, bring in natural modern skin, natural modern blush and highlight, and just a really nice simple lip. And there you have it.